Hello model railroaders, John back with the 16 by 8 river layout. You are looking at my my crossover bridge. I did some heavy modifications to it just to get it to look like something of a bridge. I took a couple, this is an 18-inch Atlas through truss bridge that I cut the bottom off, and actually I just took it off, and it was kind of already a broken bridge anyways, so that's why I didn't mind sacrificing it for this. And then I took two girder bridges that I had and I cut them on my table saw just to cut the sides off. And then I glued these down just to give it a more of a bridge look to it. I think it kind of came out pretty good. It's kind of a, it's a lot of black here, you know, as far as paint, but that's kind of the look I was going for. But at least now, it looks like part of the layout versus just having a board crossing the thing. So it's actually like a bridge. So, and how I did this was the girder pieces, you can kind of see here, I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit. I just cut them off. You can see the perfect straight line cut. And you see these little rivet tops. I just drilled a hole into here through that and through the wood, and I glued them down. So they're not really ultra stuck on there. I could take them off if I need to, but they are glued pretty good. So they wouldn't come off very easily. You can't bump them and knock them off. And even lifting them up, it'll lift up high because they are glued down, but they're not rock solid. So this thing works very well. And then the bridge, if you look right here, on the backs of the bridge right there's a rivet sticking out on both sides. You can see right over here too. I drilled at an angle a hole for the rivet. And the reason I did that was so just in case somebody ever actually went and tried to grab this thing, because this isn't glued. It's just kind of pinned down. The rivet is glued in, but the rest was just pinned down in case I ever want to use it for something else and change this. But if you went to pick it up, these pins are kind of here. Let me zoom out a little bit. These pins they go in at an angle. So it's still like picking up the whole table. And if I did, it would pick up the table. So, and then I did, of course, the same thing on this side. Now, my girder bridges weren't exactly the same one. They look close, but they're not. If you look close, you can see little bits of difference, but they're black, flat black. No one really can tell anything. And it works great. Like I say, I can't be more pleased with it, and it's very reliable. And I've got two sets of feeders, one on each end, as I mentioned in the last video. We'll kind of just zoom back so you can kind of sit and look at it as the train runs over it. So it worked out very well for me. Now it's going to be kind of a permanent part of the layout. My last layout I had that had a crossover bridge 2 years ago. That one, the bridge, the reliability was perfect, but it just looked like just a board going across. And that's why I thought this time I got to do something different just to make it look a little more special. And I think this kind of gives it more of an accurate look. The only thing I may do is down here on this bottom part, I may put the masonite on here just to give it some brown to break up all the black. It's a little too heavy on that, but we'll see. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do that or not. We'll kind of see how that goes in time. But this thing works great. So if any of you are trying to do something like that or want to do something like that, don't hesitate. It's not hard at all to build a bridge like this. I mean, you can build the top any way you want. I just chose to do it like this. And just so you know, I actually, if I would have had another one of these bridges, I would have done just a whole span of this. And that's another reason why I didn't glue it. Because I'm thinking if I can find a used junker bridge like this for $5 or something, I would still remove these things and use those. Use that for the whole bridge, because I like that better. But for now, this works really well. And it probably will stay this way for a long time, because I doubt I'll find one of these bridges cheap. So I have 3 of them. And all the bridges I have, I bought them all used. And I didn't spend much on these things. These girder bridges, I don't mind cutting these up. All my bridges that you see with girder stuff, they're all them little cheapy Atlas ones. And I usually wait till I buy them used at a swap meet. They're dirty, painted poorly, got glue on them. And I usually don't pay more than $1 or $2 tops. So I've got about a dozen of those things still in my boxes of stuff. So I've got quite a few. And so I just pulled these out and I just use these for this purpose. So, and I also make girder style bridges. My last layout where I had that bridge going over the canyon crevasse, that one was the same thing. 2 of these girder bridges, or 3 of these girder bridges, just cut and glued together, and then the train track was on top. So there's a lot of things you can do creative about it with this kind of stuff. I'll leave it here so you can kind of get a good look of the train coming down. My track's not dead center on the board. When I put the board in, I didn't really have the track fully laid out. So it's on one end, it's a little bit over, just a little tiny bit, but it's still kind of funny. I can take this bridge, turn it around 180 degrees, and it still fits perfect. It's kind of weird how that just happened to work out. So, but on this end where the train's coming off, it's got a slight curve into the curve of the track. So anyways, that's all I got on this deal. I just wanted you to see it. Not a big deal, not a major update or nothing like that. So, but now it kind of just gives this layout a whole different look. Now it looks like an actual second long bridge versus just a board going across. So if you have any questions, let me know. And if you have some questions about how I built this, the video right before this will show that. So just go on my webpage or my YouTube page and look for the video I made just a few days before this one. And that gives you the details. So thanks for watching.